We are live at A3C. That's right, we moved the Atlanta Innovation Studio powered by MailChimp from Venture Atlanta to A3C. Starting out the day, the energy is great here as tech and creative talent from all over the country come to Atlanta as we celebrate our innovators here. And I am joined here with Dwayna Haley, our Chief Brand and Communication Officer once again, and Barry Givens of many things, including Collab and Techstars. And of course, Jasmine Crowe, Goodr, which we talked on social media the other day, so always good to talk to you. And look, there's so much we could talk about. I do want to talk about social entrepreneurism. I want to talk about our moment here, amazing moment we're here in Atlanta. But talk a little bit though, for someone who may not know, what you do. Talk a little bit about Goodr, and then definitely Barry, let's talk about Collab and what you're doing with Techstars as well.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Alex. Love you guys and the Chamber and the City of Atlanta, of course. Goodr really sits at the intersection of food waste and hunger. And so we help businesses divert all of their food waste. If it's edible, we get it to people in need. If it's not edible, we can turn it into compost, animal feed, or even energy. So we really are helping customers reach their net zero goals, reach their sustainable development goals, and become and improve their carbon footprint. And so it's been a great run. We've now helped customers save over $10 million in taxes for their food donations. Wow. We've provided 30 million meals, and we are on par to divert about 5 million pounds from landfills.
That's
so
amazing.
it's good work.
That's amazing. All right, top that.
Well, I'm now about to go apply to Goodr to see if I can work there. So as you know, I have two roles. I have one role at Techstars where I serve as Managing Director of our social impact program. So we look for founders like Jasmine and companies like Goodr that are looking to make a positive impact in our world, whether it's through environment, underserved communities, or underrepresented individuals. And so we run that program once a year, 10 companies, $120,000. And we try to get 2 years of work done in 13 weeks. That's the goal. And then I'm also one of the managing partners at Collab Capital, where we've raised a little under $52 million to invest in solely Black-led companies focused on innovation. So whether they're product-based or mostly software, but it's something that most people haven't been bold enough to do, to go out with the intentionality to say we are focused not on diversity, not on underrepresented, not on any of the other.
I don't even, when he's saying most people, I don't think anybody has been bold enough to do that. So let's just say no one's done
anyone. I try not to, because there's always something, history that we don't know. And so we're the only one that I know, but I won't say we're the only one. But yeah, it's great. We've invested in 12 companies so far. We'll be deploying this money over the next 4 or 5 years. We write checks between $350 all the way up to $1 million into early stage companies. We're not afraid to be the only check and first check into a company. We don't need validation from anybody. We have the expertise, the background to be able to make those decisions. And it's just great being able to support Black founders, as I once was one, looking for capital, and we've just never been able to get Black founders the support and the money that they need to really grow large companies. And we're just glad to be playing a role in that.
Yeah. So I was just going to say quickly, so I actually first learned about Goodr at the top, I'll say, of 2018. And then I went to the EAT conference in Sweden.
Yes.
And there was the Princess of Sweden, I want to say, on stage doing like the opening, Apple launch moment, with all the big screens. And she was like, we are trying to get to a place where we're doing things in local communities. Like, have you all ever heard of Jasmine Crowe and Goodr? What? And I was like, wait a minute, that's Atlanta.
That's so
Atlanta.
crazy.
That was literally like the first time I realized
Who is this princess?
I've never had royalty talk about this.
Right. I'm telling my assistant to book us a flight to Sweden. Let's go talk to them.
The EAT conference.
That is so crazy.
If they have not contacted you, they absolutely are following along with what you are doing, and just wanted to share that because it has global impact.
That is so crazy.
That was 2018, and you've grown so much more since then.
We're doing a lot more. I honestly think that Goodr will, given the funding that we need to get, will make our first, launch into furthering North America, probably Canada or Mexico. We get a ton of requests from resorts and hotels
Yeah.
in Mexico because there's all this food, and then
Yes.
there's so much need once you get into the deep parts of the cities. But we get a lot of requests also from Canada.
Wow.
So, I think North America,
amazing.
all over North America first, and then we got to go to Sweden because the princess has requested us.
It's globally represented. Well, talk about this moment then here in Atlanta. It's a great, kind of transition here. Talk about how you feel about this moment. I mean, where we were just even, it feels like, Dwayne and I talk about this all the time. It's every week, every day, there's new news. You have, you got royalty talking about you.
It's crazy.
You have unicorns born, every day. Of course, we know about MailChimp and Spanx over the last, couple of weeks, the news they've been getting. We have funds being born. So many people think it happened overnight, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
So, kind of, what's your thoughts about the moment we're here in Atlanta?
You know what I love about that is that I feel like somewhat connected to everybody that's big or doing something in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like I've worked with Sarah Blakely, I've worked with Spanx, I've worked with MailChimp, I work with Barry. Like that's what I love about Atlanta. It's just like we have like this culture of connectivity and support. And I do believe that there were people in Atlanta that I don't know personally that were like speaking my name in rooms at their companies and were getting me meetings, and just that's what I love about Atlanta. And I think it's like Southern hospitality.
Yeah, that's
but now it's really,
Right.
I think we're just having our moment, but it's just so incredible. Like it's past due.
Right.
We're like, I think it's the greatest city. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, Miami this, but I think, no, you have to come to Atlanta. Like this is really where it is.
Yeah, I think it's funny. So people yesterday, Venture Atlanta was talking about it's the new definition of Southern hospitality is what's happening in tech right now.
Okay,
in
I
terms
love
of
it.
collaboration. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
what's
mean
up
that's
with this
that's the thing, right? It's like we've been doing this for a long time. Like I started my company in 2012, and it wasn't this bustling. It was starting, right? You had little pockets here and there, but what we're seeing today started like 10 years ago, and it all started with that collaboration, and literally is why we named our fund Collab Capital.
Oh, so makes sense.
Because when you look at our ecosystem now, as you talk about Spanx, right?
Yeah.
I made one phone call and I pitched Jesse, Sarah's husband, on investing in my company. They didn't end up investing, but like the fact that I could make one phone call and get to, a billionaire walking around the city that I've never seen, he's never heard of me, never heard of him. You don't get that in other ecosystems, right? You cannot get to people and places without having that connectivity, without having someone that's, that's very close to that person. And so here in Atlanta, we have built this like as an ecosystem, right? We have, and I think, not to throw Miami under the bus, because I think they're doing great work too.
No, we can do that.
But you can't be a fry in the pan, right? You can't just one day wake up and say, oh, we're here. Like we've been incubating this feeling that we have today. We've been incubating the successes and the connectivity and all of these things. Like I've been watching Jasmine from when she had the idea back in Goodr Nation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then when you transfer all of that connectivity over specifically to diversity, and even more specific into the Black tech ecosystem here in Atlanta, I mean, Jasmine is that first like shining example of coming from a non-tech background, walking into one of our flagship programs with Joey and the godfather of Atlanta Black Tech, and Justin with Goodr Nation, with an idea, and even the support they gave her beyond just her idea, to then coming forward and Jewel, and like just, I mean, she literally went through the entire spectrum of Atlanta, and that's why, she's sitting here really successful, because if we support more dope entrepreneurs like Jasmine, we'll get this kind of success. And we have, it's a million, not saying you're not one of the million,
no.
But there are a lot of other talented people with great ideas that we can use this connectivity to do that. And this won't be the only moment, right? We'll have many more moments because of what we've incubated over the last 10 years.
Right, absolutely.
I love
Well, you talked a little bit about, not being afraid to be, first and only money on the table for, Black founders and entrepreneurs. And even you were talking about just some of the current challenges. So I know like we as a country in the middle of a bit of a social reckoning. And while we have a great ecosystem here, there's still a gap. And the progress that needs to be made for
still
Black
a huge
founders
gap,
and entrepreneurs. So can you talk a little bit about the challenges that exist today, and maybe how each of you in the and how you are doing your business is kind of helping to kind of close that gap?
You know, I was looking and doing some research recently, and we talk a lot about how many, I think now we've gotten over 100 Black women have raised over $1 million. I think, and that may not even be true, but I think we're over 100. But it's about getting to the next level, and that's when it gets harder. Yeah. So there's been all of these, you know, pledges, and we're going to invest more, and we're going to be